Hey, welcome class. So today we're going to be talking about how to help friends who are in abusive relationships, right? So we just read over Jose and Maria's story, right? And we saw that a lot of people are in abusive relationships. And a lot of people want to get out of them, but they don't know how. So we as friends can help them get out of those situations, right? So today we're going to talk about some of the steps that you can take to help your friends, whether that's giving them resources or just being there for them. But before we get to that, let's talk about why people may be afraid to get help. So can anyone give me a reason why someone might not want to get help from a friend?
They're embarrassed.
Yeah, they're embarrassed. Very good. Anyone else?
They don't want their parents to find out?
Yeah, maybe the mom and dad don't know that they're in a relationship, right?
They don't even know if it's a problem.
They don't know if it's a problem, right? Sometimes as a friend, you completely see that there's a problem in the relationship, but they might not see it, okay? Why might they not see that there's a problem?
Maybe they see it at home.
They see it at home, so it's normal, right, to see that abuse. And you think,
they love them?
They love them, okay? There is that connection between two people, right? And so when you love someone, you sometimes gloss over their faults, right? Right, so very good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn over to page 21 in your booklet, and this is the friend's wheel. And we're going to talk about how to help a friend, okay? So the first one is believe their story. Okay? Sometimes a lot of people are afraid to tell people that there's abuse going on in their relationship because they're afraid that their friends aren't going to believe them. You know, sometimes the abuse happens in private. It's not in public, right? So the first thing you need to do is believe that there's abuse going on, right? Next is telling them that they deserve better. Okay? No one deserves abuse in their relationship. No one. So letting them know that it's not for them, you know, they don't need to be in this kind of relationship. The next one is let your friend make their own decisions. Now this is the toughest one because you want the best for your friends, right? But they have to make their own decision. You can't force them out of the relationship. You can't force them to confront their partner. They have to make that decision on their own. And when they do make that decision, you need to be a supportive friend, okay? Always letting them know that regardless of what their decision is, you'll be there and you'll help. Next one is make a safety plan. Okay, so what do you guys think that means? Make a safety plan.
If the partner who is abusive doesn't take the breakup well, we just have to make sure that our friend is safe afterwards.
Exactly, right? So let's say that your friend and their partner are out at the movies, okay? And an argument ensues in the car, and the abusive partner hurts your friend, okay? Maybe it's just a quick text, like maybe you have a code word, maybe it's sweetie. And that way now you know that you have to come up to wherever they are, okay? You have to meet them at the movies. Maybe it's making sure that there are only group dates, that they're never alone, okay? Always making a plan to make sure that your friend is safe, okay? Giving help, okay? Sometimes we don't have all the answers, and we don't expect you to have all the answers. So there are community resources out there that can help you, okay? We have the CWCIC, the Center for Women and Children in Crisis. We have Centro Hispano, come talk to us, okay? Maybe we can help. Talk to a trusted adult, maybe your principal, maybe your school counselor. They can give you more resources. Don't feel like you're alone in this, okay? You have trusted adults that can back you up, right? Last but not least is don't gossip. Okay, this is between you and your friend. Okay, this isn't between you and the entire school. Okay, they're already embarrassed. They're already scared. You don't need to add more people into this conversation, right? So, do you guys think that this is a pretty easy way to help a friend, right? Yeah. Okay, so again, start by believing their story. Okay, don't gossip. Okay? Give them options. Stay a friend. Okay? Let them make their own decisions. Right? Make a safety plan. Right? And this is the best way to help a friend. Now, in the next session, we're going to talk about how to actually help a friend. Right? We're going to talk about Zoe and Elijah. So we'll see you guys next time. All right, so Session 4 is my favorite session because it's talking to teens about how to help their friends. And when I talk about how to help friends, I really try to tell our teens that it could be helping anyone. It could be their brother and sister, their mom, their aunts, their cousins. It really is about helping everyone. So something that I like to do is, this session really has a lot of talking on our behalf as facilitators. So I like to put up a slide where it has the story, especially Jose's story. That way students can not just hear me, but they can actually read it. And that way, if they pick up on certain things, they can actually go back and read it. Another thing that I really like to do is making sure that our pronouns aren't gender conforming. So we're using things like they, or maybe just using names instead of giving them a specific gender pronoun. So if we're talking about Maria, I just say, what did Maria do? Instead of saying, what did she do? Just making sure that everyone's being included in your presentation. The other thing that we try to make sure to do is that when we talk about why people don't leave, making sure that it's not a negative thing. These aren't bad people. You know, there is a stereotype or a myth as to why victims of abuse do stay in relationships. And so we want to make sure that people aren't feeling bad that they've stayed in a bad relationship, that their mom is staying in a bad relationship, their sister or brother are staying in bad relationships. Making sure that they understand that these aren't bad people. The situation might not be the best, but there are ways to help them. The other thing is we talk about why it's hard for people to get help. Again, we're not shaming them. Trying to get help, regardless of what the situation is difficult. So making sure that people understand that people are embarrassed or they may be identify as LGBTQ and their family doesn't know, so they don't want to tell their mom and dad that their partner is being abusive simply because they'll be outing themselves. Again, being inclusive of everyone that is in your classroom. The next thing is how to help a friend. I like this because it gives them steps as to how to help a friend. Of course, in the next session is when we're actually going to put them into place and where these kids first think, oh yeah, this is really easy, but then they see how it can actually be pretty difficult to give friends help. The last thing is making sure again that you're making this interactive. A lot of this session, again, is a lot of us talking as facilitators. When giving out community resources, again, being inclusive. This curriculum is so great in giving us resources in the state level, the community and county level, but if you know that you have youth that identify as LGBTQ, give resources that help them specifically. If you have individuals who identify as Latino or Pacific Islander, giving them resources that are specific to them. That way they're being included, they're getting resources from people that think and live just like them, and they're not ever being excluded. So those are just some tips for session 4. And if you guys have any questions as to how to modify, how to make it more interactive, please contact any of us who have been on these videos. You can email me. It's abrahamh, abrahamh, @centrohispano.uc.org.